bait to have to put it on no fishing pole and throw it out there and have to wait for the nibble to get it, to know that it didn't bit and caught on, and then have to pull up a fish and have to get it off the hook. I'm not into all that. I'm not into all that. I'm more into the little crabbing thing, and I'd rather sit there and see a whole bunch of crabs in the water and just get a net and just hopefully I can swoop up a dozen at a time. But it's very, very peaceful out here. The sun out. Probably be better if I would have came a little later when the sun went down, but like I said, I was just riding, getting me a peace of mind so I can keep my mind steadfast on what God got me to do, because it's easy to get off a track. It's easy to jump in your flesh and get off a track of the journey that God got you on. But I refuse to fall victim to the enemy's circumstances. I refuse. I know God has truly, truly elevated me, and what he has shown me that with elevation sometimes comes separation. So he's going to separate me from a lot of people, places, and things as well. But it's not designed for me to give up because he separated me from these things. We be attached to a lot of worldly things that we don't want to let go of. But sometimes God needs us to take our hands off these worldly things so that we can stay steadfast in what he has called us to do. I'm a sole believer that nothing happens by coincidence. Nothing happens by luck. Everything happens because God made things possible. So I'm leaning on God's understanding to the end. I have been leaning on my own understanding from time to time, other people's understanding, believing and trusting in people, and getting out of the revelation or the realm of God. But I know that I have a personal relationship with God. I hear his voice, and I'm going to obey it to the best of my abilities. If I fall short, I'm going to repent, ask God to turn me away from the things that I'm repenting about. That's right, Chinese, because the book, I Am Bigger Than My Mistakes, I already done started it. I got a couple of books in me. I don't need nobody to tell my story. Can't nobody tell my story better than me and God. And God is allowing me to tell my story to that selective group of people that he want me to tell it to. It's not for everybody. So, of course, everybody's not gonna understand what God is doing to me, through me, nor for me. It's not for everybody to understand. I'm standing 10 toes down at the throne of God. His grace and mercy is sufficient. See, we got to know, first we got to know God, and then we got to know who we are in God. Because if you don't know who you are in God, you will be misled easily. Because once you know who you is in God, you know that you have a personal relationship with God, you're going to lean on his understanding. You're going to confide in him. You're going to confide in man.